I used to believe that a mother's love was the safest place on earth. I believed it the way children believe in gravity, something invisible, unquestionable, always there. My mother taught me that belief with bedtime stories, warm hands on my fevered forehead, and whispered promises that she would protect me from everything. Disappointed, what she never told me was that sometimes the danger doesn't come from the outside. Sometimes it is born in the same womb as love. My earliest memory of fear has her face in it. I was 7 when I first understood that my mother, Elena Moore, didn't just want to raise me, she wanted to own me. She decided what I wore, who I spoke to, how loudly I laughed. She called it discipline. She said the world was cruel and only she knew how to prepare me for it. When I cried, she said tears were weakness. When I smiled too freely, everything I do is for you, Eva, she would say, her voice calm, controlled. One day you'll thank me. By the time I was 13, gratitude had turned into silence. I learned how to disappear inside myself. I learned how to listen for her footsteps, how to read her moods in the way she closed doors. My father had left when I was 5, vanished like a ghost she refused to speak about. Whenever I asked, her eyes hardened and the air grew heavy, disdainful. He was weak, she said, and weakness destroys families. At 16, I earned a scholarship to a boarding school 3 hours away. I remember holding the letter with shaking hands, my heart beating so fast it hurt. Hopeful, freedom was printed in black ink. When I showed it to her, she smiled, a slow, careful smile that didn't reach her eyes. That's wonderful, she said. I'll take care of everything. I didn't realize then that those words were a threat. The night before I was supposed to leave, she sat across from me at the kitchen table. Scared the house was quiet, the kind of quiet that feels like it's watching you. Determined. You're not going, she said. I laughed nervously, thinking it was a joke. Mom, the school starts tomorrow. She slid a folder across the table. Inside were medical reports, police statements, and photos I had never seen. They were all lies documents claiming I had mental health issues, violent tendencies, instability. Disgusted, her signature was everywhere. I'm protecting you, she said softly. The world isn't ready for someone like you. That night, something inside me broke, determined, but something else was born. I stayed. I obeyed. I pretended, for years, determined. But I never forgot. I went to college later, under her supervision. I studied psychology because I wanted to understand her and because I wanted to understand myself. I learned about control, narcissism, emotional imprisonment. I learned the language for what she had done to me, and I learned how people like her fall. When I was 25, she got sick. Not terminally, just enough to be afraid. Fear softened her, or maybe it made her careless. She started leaning on me, trusting me in ways she never had before. I became her caretaker, her confidant, her mirror. You're all I have, she said one night, her voice trembling. I sacrificed everything for you. I looked at her and smiled. I know, I said. I forged nothing this time. I didn't need to. I just guided the narrative. When she protested, I held her hands and whispered, everything I do is for you. Her eyes widened the first time I said it. She recognized the words. Fear flickered there, brief but bright, determined. I took control of her finances. I convinced her friends she needed rest. I told her stories about my childhood that painted her as cruel, unstable. She denied them, of course, but denial sounds a lot like madness when you're alone. The final step was the hardest. Moved, I found my father. He hadn't abandoned us. She had driven him away, destroyed his reputation, threatened to take me from him forever. When he spoke, his voice broke in the same place as mine used to. I invited him to dinner. When my mother, you lied, I said quietly. About everything, she screamed, she begged, she told me she loved me. For the first time in my life, I didn't believe her. The legal process was clean, precise, a mirror of what she had once done to me. She was declared unfit, moved into a care facility where the walls were white and the doors locked softly behind her. I visited her once a month. She would sit there, smaller now, quieter, asking me why I was doing this to her. Sometimes she cried, sometimes she stared at me with hatred so sharp it almost impressed me. You're cruel, she said once. Just like me. Thoughtful, I thought about that long after I left. Determined, revenge doesn't feel like fire. It feels like stillness, like balance, like finally standing upright after a lifetime of bending. I didn't destroy